So we're going to be replacing the print head in the X-Maker. In its parked position, the head is usually up fairly high. It's not really easy to get to, so I'm going to go ahead and reposition it, and then we'll talk through the steps that we need to do to get there. So first of all, we'll turn it on. Once it is on, and we'll be able to go through, and once it gets to the main menu, so we can reposition the print head. We want to get to where we can easily remove it. Now you will need a small Allen wrench or similar wrench to remove the head. I will show you that in a second, but let's position this to where we can actually get to it. So go to settings, we're going to move it, and we're going to move it down and over a little bit. So Z is the up or down. So we're going to drop it down by 10 millimeters. And this is probably going to try to rehome before it drops, but we'll go ahead and do that. Yep, so we'll go upward first a little bit. It has to find out where it is. And this is a good idea because you don't want to try moving this print head past it stops. Okay, we drop a little bit. Now we're going to drop it down a little bit more. And you can see now we're getting to where we can get to those screws. And I'm going to move it over a little bit now on the x-axis. We're going to move it to the right. About halfway over. Okay. And from here we're going to want to remove it. So we're going to do two more things. First, we're going to I have to make sure there's no filament inside the print head. Right now there isn't any filament, but let's assume there was. We would go back down to filament, and then you would hit the unload button here. So I'm going to go back to the menu here. So if we get to filament and unload, it will heat up the hot end and unload any filament. That will be important because as we replace the head, we're probably going to also be replacing that tube that goes, this is a Teflon tube that goes away from the head to the extruder gear there. And if there's any filament inside there, then it's just going to get caught. So we're going to make sure that we unload that filament first. And then after that is done, then we're going to shut the machine off. And go ahead and do that. Okay, and with the printer off, you can see there are two metric screws here that hold this head in place. Those are 3 millimeter screws. These typically have a 2.5 millimeter Allen wrench head, so I'm going to use this multi-tool that does not come with one, so you're going to have to use that. Also, if you have a T10 Torx head, that also fits that perfectly. So so our next step after this is off is we're going to want to remove the ribbon. And the ribbon actually just comes straight up. You just pull it straight up and try to avoid kinking the ribbon. And I'm just going to move that ribbon out of the way like that. We're going to want to remove the head and the tube at the same time. There are small clips. There's one here, this little blue clip. And I have another clip here on this one. This is an orange clip. If you remove these clips and then you press down on these little tabs here, that loosens the tube and you may be able to remove the tube out. If you can't remove the tube, then you undo this part of it. Usually use a small wrench to do it. So, because otherwise it's going to be hard to remove. So, okay. I'm just going to put this back on. So with that tube disconnected, I'm just going to loosen these two and then pull this head off. I have this one loosened up all the way. As we loosen the other one up, these are the only two that hold it in place. So this is going to have a tendency to want to try to fall forward, just like that. Okay. But that's okay. That doesn't really hurt anything. I'm going to grab those screws here. Sorry, it's hard to do. Okay. And then the new head will come already pre-assembled. It may not look exactly like the previous head that you had, but it will fit in place the same. And assembly is just the opposite. You will put this in. And the new kit does come with a new tube, a little Teflon tube, and it comes with the additional hardware and clip. Notice at the bottom, at the back, there is a little flange there that hooks in to this part. So when you put it in, you're going to tilt it slightly forward until it lines up, just like that, and then tighten those screws up. Okay. I'm going to pause this for now. And then with those two screws now in place, this thing is firm, it's held in place well. The next thing we're going to want to do is connect the Teflon tube and then the ribbon cable, and I do that in that order. If I have the cable in first and then I'm trying to put the tube in, it may be a tight fit, and if I damage that cable, then I'm in trouble. So I'm going to put the Teflon tube in, and this, for this one, it just fits directly inside, and you just push it in as far as it will go, and then that's a direct fit. The other side will come out. So that tube goes through this opening, and then you can put it directly through there as well. And then you put it in as far as it will go. If you have a clip, you put the clip back in, and this will help hold it in place so that it doesn't come out. Now with that in place, we can put the ribbon cable back in. And what you want to do is you want to put it in straight and then just gently maybe rock it just a little bit and forth to make sure that it comes in all the way. And then it should be ready to go. We're going to turn the printer back on and make sure that everything works well. This one has a little bit of a noise to it. That's actually, I had replaced this one before, so that's just the fan making the noise. But we're gonna want to put it through its paces here. I'm actually just gonna close the door here so it's not so noisy. So we're gonna go back over to setting here. And then anytime you change a head, you're going to want to redo calibration. And it's going to say it's a professional setting. And the reason you're going to want to do this is twofold. One, you want to make sure that the head and everything is moving normally. Okay. So this verifies that everything is moving the way it's supposed to. And now it's going back down. The noise has stopped, so that fan is probably just a little bit in need of a little bit of lubrication. So I don't have the factory plate. I have a different plate there. Again, if you're going to change the surface, you also need to redo the calibration. So you put a piece of paper under it, and then as you pull the paper, once it's down, you want to get it to the point that it's just grabbing it on the paper. So this is easier to do with both hands. And actually, if I take a look, I can see that there's a pretty good distance between the print head. So I can use the down button to bring that closer. So a little negative button to bring it closer. And you can also see there's a little bit of filament still in that head. Ideally, you should do this without any filament in place. But you want to drop it down to where it's just a little bit of tension. So you, plus and minus, you should just grab the paper a little bit. And then you're going to do the same with leveling. It's going to go and do 9 points. So it's going to go to the corners. Same thing, paper should be able to move through, but there should just be a little bit of a tug. And we're going to do this for all of them. If it's not tight, it's not grabbing at all, then you're going to lower it a little bit. If it happens to be too tight and you can't move that tape at all, then you're going to lift it up and then adjust as needed until you get just a little bit of a tug. You just feel a little bit of friction. Okay. I'm not going to go through the whole process at this point, but you have the idea. Now it is all set. You should be able to put filament through and go.